Hey folks, how you guys doing? This is good old Reverend Ordo here. Here, let's fix the light here. Let's fix the light. Oh man, it's wow. It seems that the Epstein Files are getting extremely weird, man. Like extremely weird, and I don't know where to start with this thing, but I'm sitting here and I'm hearing more and more about the Epstein Files, and more it's getting weird. Now, just was it yesterday or no, the other day? We learned that the former CEO of EA, their name was on the list, but it was under a pseudonym, and it's getting weird. But the thing is, like, when you look at all this shit, man, all this going on, man. It's getting to a point that so much is going on. A lot of names are being put out there. A lot of names, and 3 million documents, man, supposed to be released. All 3 million, right? Now, we're at a third time, right? How many are going to be released? And if they are going to be released, how many are going to be redacted or unredacted? Because the thing is, there was an incident where the victims' names were unredacted, right? And the ones that were on the list were, like John Podesta and Bill Gates, all that shit, were redacted. So, some were redacted, some were unredacted. Like, dude, you pretty much are saying, well, we gotta do this because we gotta protect some people because they have some shit on us. And if we don't, they might release the shit they have on us. So, yeah. So it seems that if you run for office, right? If you run for office, and if you want a certain seat, a particular seat, you need to have skeletons in the closet so they could use it over your head. Like for example, 40 plus years ago, right? Shit happened in the 80s, right? Late 80s. You hear about the satanic panic bullshit in the 70s and 80s. You hear about, a lot of shit, man, all this shit, and anybody in politics, finance, media, you need the whole thing. They get invited to these little parties, and they have little youngsters who are being trafficked and shit, being used to blackmail prominent people in politics and media and sport, you name it, the whole thing, in business and politics, you name it, the whole thing. And if you are somebody that has got dirt on somebody, the information you have, it's like dangling a carrot over. It's like dangling a black cloud over your head till the day you fucking die, man. And man, Jeffrey Epstein was a spy, not just a multi-billionaire but a spy from Mossad. Okay. Now, we all know that the files are really fucking weird, dude. And it's really weird, dude. You know, for the longest time, you hear about, he ended his life in his cell. Okay, here's a question that some of you might be asking. Okay, if he offed himself, okay, in his cell, how could he have done it? Because the walls they have in those prisons, you can't really hang anything up. Not even a picture, Christmas lights, a calendar, or whatever. Can't do it. You know. So the thing is, either someone took him out, or somebody took him out, but faked his death. Because now you're saying a guy with like bushy gray hair, gray beard, the guy could be alive. And us not knowing it, you know. The guy could have been snuck down to the United States, sent to Israel, and shit like that, you know. It just... So much shit, dude, you know, so much shit that we're all being spoon-fed. I mean, I get it, you know, we're all being fed a bunch of shit, you know. But all things don't add up right, you know. Charlie Kirk's assassination. All of a sudden, you hear about the Epstein Files. More are going to be released. But the thing is, allegedly they were released the first time, but they were all redacted, man. All redacted, you know. And I feel like we're in round 3. And we all know that they're going to give them time to release, so they could be, a good majority of them will be redacted, you know. And Donald Trump saying, everybody needs to move on. Everybody needs to move on. Look, not everybody's going to move on, okay? Here is the facts. Not everybody's going to move on, okay? That's the thing. They're not going to move on, okay? They're not. So, the thing is, if you think you're going to move on, guess again. Nobody's going to move on, man, you know? Because you say so, do you think that they're going to do it? No. Because, thing is, okay, look. There are a lot of people who are victims, okay? There are victims, you know. Some made out alive, some didn't. Okay, some didn't. Now, there's a individual who's about 53, he'll be 53. Name's William Sasha something, you know. And he was a victim of trafficking, being trafficked and shit, you know. He got beaten a few times in different locations. He got SA'd. Just the whole shebang of pain, man. You know, the whole thing. He mentioned a lot of people's names. Jim Jordan out of Ohio, Donald Trump, multiple times. He did an interview long time. Was it a few years ago? Back about 3 years ago. And he named names, man. He named names, dude. And He mentioned that some of the victims that were being trafficked, most of them were dead. They were unalived, unalived. And there was a few women, young girls that he knew that were there. They ended up unalived. His adopted father was involved. So was his adopted mother. Both are involved, And the adopted father started to lose it because the CPS thing. And so there's one incident in 87, about 87, where this victim, William Sasha, was pretty bad. Like he couldn't do shit. He couldn't even move. And he said that, no, hey, I'll take his place. So the dad, the father, ended up getting a beating, but also got cornholed. Okay, cornholed. Okay. So the father got cornholed, and also got beaten himself too, because he had that CPS thing over his head, on his mind. So about early to mid 2000, the mother ended up died. And the father, I don't know what happened to him. I mean, it's getting bad. And he also knew Jeffrey Epstein. He knew about Ghislaine Maxwell. He knew about Donald Trump and Jim Jordan in the 80s. Jim Jordan was a high school or college wrestler from Ohio. He ended up hurting the dad pretty bad himself. Hurting William Sasha something as well, pretty bad, but not enough to do any damage. But he mentioned Donald Trump numerous times. Jim Jordan's now Senator of Ohio. Donald Trump bought the Miss USA, Miss Teen USA, all that shit. And he ended up running The Apprentice for 15 years. So, and the thing is, Don Jr. was born in 78, Ivanka 81, Eric Trump 84. So, we often wonder, why did he bury his first wife in his golf course, right? Buried his first wife, the mother of his three kids, on one of his golf courses, man. Like, really? Shit. But a lot of this, it is shit. It is getting weird, man. It is getting fucking weird, because if you think about it, a lot of things happened after Epstein allegedly died, to now where we're at now. You had who was it? Chester Bennington, Chris Cornell, was it Andrew Bourdain, and another guy. All four died, mysteriously, because they are going to do a documentary about trafficking. And if y'all remember the movie Voices of Freedom, with Jim Caviezel, and that was a movie that they're trying to. That was the movie that they tried to shut down, and where a few theaters tried to really fuck it up for people who wanted to see the movie. Some would like leave the light on, or no, because they had a couple of theaters where rooms got hot, pretty hot, you know. Oh wow, it got hot, you know, and try to find some way to keep people from watching, for seeing it. But the thing is, that movie made $100 million, though, $100 million, okay? And it was like the #1 movie of that year. But they buried it, man. They buried that movie, dude. Voices of Freedom. And it was about child trafficking. And a lot of things started to happen during that time. If y'all remember that actress that wasn't in a relationship with Ellen DeGeneres years ago, before Portia de Rossi came along, Anne Hesh, she died mysteriously because she was also going to do a documentary as well. So she ended up mysteriously dead. Chris Cornell, Chester Bennington, Andy Bourdain, and another guy mysteriously died. Okay? Now, there's a lot of shit that's going on within that time period, man. You know, that time period. Paul Walker's death. If I remember, Paul Walker died too. Paul Walker died, you know. Great actor, man. Great actor. If y'all remember the movie he was in, The Skulls. Remember The Skulls? With him and William Peterson and shit. The Skulls. That was a movie about Skull and Bones. You know, Skull and Bones. If you look it up, either don't Google it. Don't Google it. DuckDuckGo has a search engine. So does Brave. So does LaborWolf. They have a search engine too. But the movie Skulls was about the Skull and Bones. You know, in a way. You know. Now, Stanley Kubrick did a movie about the Illuminati, Eyes Wide Shut. You know. After that movie was made, he mysteriously died a few weeks later. Same guy that did the 2001 Space Odyssey. He did what was that movie? I'm trying to think here. It had Dick Nixon in it. It had Shelley Duvall. The Shining. Okay. Now, Shining was kind of a good movie, but the Easter eggs were kind of goofy as hell, man. You know, it was kind of goofy because the Easter eggs were supposed to be a telling of the moon landing was faked. Okay, it never happened. And I've seen it a few times. He did The Shining. He did 2001 Space Odyssey. He did another movie. But Eyes Wide Shut, man. Holy shit. Oh yeah. Clockwork Orange. You know, Michael McDowell was in the movie too. You know, great actor. You know, great actor. Eyes Wide Shut was his last film. A few weeks later, he died. Okay, so a lot of things really got holy fuck. You know. But the Epstein Files were kind of, you know. Now, if y'all remember what happened to Charlie Kirk last year, you know, dude was assassinated last year. In was it July? Was it June or July? But there was so many questions on who pulled the trigger. and who really did it. Do I think that one dude did it? I don't know. But I think if he did do it, really do it, I bet he was trained by Mossad, dude. By Mossad, okay? Because look, we all know that Mossad infiltrated Triple USA, And now we're hearing that Michael Kirk was Erica Kirk is not who she turns out to be. So many things are coming out about her. It's like, man, it's not putting her in a very good light at all, either, man. I tell you that much. It's all insane, dude. It's all insane, man. Does it make any sense? I don't think so. I think it's kind of off thing, kind of what the fuck, holy shit. Down the rabbit hole we all go. I'm sitting there just thinking, okay, look. Is Jeffrey Epstein really alive? Did he really fake his death to more shit's coming out, but I'm gonna take it with a grain of salt. Grain of salt, guys. Grain of salt. Okay? But I wouldn't jump to conclusions right away. I would definitely do some research, man. I tell you what, it is getting really weird, man. Like, really fucking weird, dude. And in my opinion, it may get worse this year along the way. I tell you what, I have a weird feeling. That a few people are going to be unalived because of all this Jeffrey Epstein bullshit, the Greenland distraction. Man, come on, man. Dude, it's going to get worse and worse and worse. I'll tell you what. This is my opinion, okay? Viewer discretion must be advised, okay? Viewer discretion must be advised, okay? It's not going to be good, man, this year, because we have the midterm elections, okay? We do. All right? And the thing is, where can we go with this? I have a feeling that we're not going to hear very much about Greenland, but much more about the Epstein Files, because we want to see some elites locked up forever, like Bill and Hillary. Okay? Look, folks, here's an own factor, okay? Bill Clinton is not the father of Chelsea, okay? Chelsea. Exactly. Chelsea Clinton's real dad is Carl Hubble. Her mom's partner in a law firm in Arkansas. But Bill Clinton's is the father of Danny Williams. The guy was known for getting around and shit. He loved prostitutes, And during the 2016 election, we all know that he came out and said, yeah, Bill Clinton's my dad. And the Clinton administration in the late 90s came up with this fake document saying that, Bill is not his father. Dude. But I mean, and Jennifer Flowers years ago, she was told that said that she was paid to have. She was told to have an abortion because she carried Bill's kid, and was forced to have an abortion. I think that if she didn't, I mean, here's what I'm thinking. If Jennifer Flowers never had an abortion, and ran away for her life, and coming out years later with Bill Clinton's kid, holy shit! Oh man, she would definitely put the fear in Bill. I mean, here's a guy who flew on the Lolita Express and went on the island numerous times, more than his wife, by the way. I mean, shit. Any kind of information like that, if it happened, holy shit. Jennifer Flowers would end up deceased years later because she hid the truth. And we all know who would do it and have it done. Because Hillary wants to protect her own legacy by, forcing her to have an abortion. Like, no. Hillary had a kid with Carl Hubble. Okay? She does not look like Bill. She looks more like Carl Hubble. Okay? Hillary's law partner. And who also went on the Lolita Express and had some time on the island, Shit, But the one thing that nobody's talking about is the Anthony Weiner laptop, which was really Hillary's laptop, Shit. It was really Hillary's laptop, So why was Hillary's laptop in the position of by Anthony Weiner? Really? It is getting funky like a monkey, man. It is. It is getting insane, dude. Really insane. But I have a wrenching gut feeling that there'll be more people unalived this year. Who I don't know, can't confirm or deny. Because look, whenever I have that gut feeling, it's gonna be weird. It'll be weird, very, very weird, I'm going to share this on my X page. And check it out. It's getting to a point now, you're starting to hear less about Greenland and more about the files. I mean, we all know that Donald Trump wants Greenland, but the thing is, if he attempts to take Greenland, because Denmark is also a NATO country, Orange Man Fat is going to have some straight up resistance, straight up resistance, and because of the other NATO countries to protect Greenland, Why? Because Greenland has some very unique resources, that Trump wants for his oil baron friends, Denmark had Greenland under their control for over 500 years. Trump said, I don't care if they float a boat over there 500 years ago. I'm going to take it. Dude, you are dumber than dirt. You're as dumber than a thick coat of paint. You have no idea what you're getting us into, Nobody in this country wants to go to war with France or Denmark or whoever. Look, leave Greenland alone. Greenland is protected by the crown of Denmark. Okay? This guy is going to get us into a civil war. This guy's going to get us into much deeper shit. And I don't want it. Okay? Okay, Orange Man Fat? We do not want to go to have a civil war, which we're about almost, there. I don't know. We do not want war with any other country. We don't need Greenland, okay? Greenland is happy being with Danish people, okay? Denmark, They're telling you, we want to be Greenlanders, not Americans. They already said who they want to stay with. That's Denmark, man. Like, what the fuck, dude? Shit. I'm not really liking this guy very much. At all. At all. I don't like it at all, man. It's always been a two-party dictatorship. It's always been a two-party system. And all this has been. All this has been, always will be a two-party system, That's why I'll never vote again, man. Because, dude, well, I didn't get your voice heard. Don't matter, man. Don't matter. Because the game's rigged, folks. The game's rigged. Okay? There is this big club. There's this big club, and we ain't in it. We ain't in this big club. If you want to believe it, if you want to have the American dream, you gotta be asleep to believe it. Okay? There you go. I'm really just what they're saying, fit to be tied. Just really pissed off, man. I just wish that people would just wake the fuck up, man. Realize we're all getting played here, folks. We're all getting played here. We're all being told something over here, while over here they're not wanting you to see. My opinion is, I'm not afraid to say things that need to be said. I got the balls to say things that need to be said, you know what I'm saying? We all got to wake up and realize, look, we're in a mess because of this guy, Orange Man Fat, okay? Orange Man Fat and other dumbass politicians and, whoever, is in office. We're all being played like a bunch of toys here, man. Like a cat with a yarn, And I ain't playing. I won't play this bullshit, I will not play this fucking shit. Okay? Simple as that, And I know that some of you probably will throw up some remarks. Don't give a fuck, Say what you must, but don't give a shit, We all have to really open our eyes and ears, our minds, okay? Look, I know we're in a bad spot right now, bad place. And can you trust anybody? Probably not. The most dangerous person is the ones with very few friends. That's me. I have very few friends. I'm fine with that. I don't want to have a lot of friends, I rather have my very few that I have in my inner circle because I know who I can trust. You know. Is it scary? I don't know. I don't know. But we all have to live with our eyes and ears and mind open here, man. You know, it's one thing after another. If it has to be. Or, you know. Before I go, I just want to say, guys, you know, like, subscribe, comment below, share this video, hit the bell for notification, right? So, I've been thinking really hard within the last few days. You know, I'll go for a walk and I'll see the sky. And the sky reminds me of a game I played the other day. Homefront Revolution. There's no sunlight. It's only like it's gray, you know, all this shit, you know. And if you look behind me, yeah, like that. And it could get really, really insane. Insane, you know. So, in closing, I wish everybody have a good week and a good weekend. Always live healthy, happy, and wise. I love you guys. Peace out. Godspeed. Buddha bless.